Alright, so since the new format started, I figured we would start it off by doing the best decks tier list. Please share your thoughts after you're done watching and let me know if you agree or disagree with my placements. And also let me know which deck you're playing in the next format. Was your deck hit, or are you just completely chill about it and nothing was hit and you can just play a very cool deck and it's going to be even better in the next format. Also like the video if you liked it, it really helps the channel. Make sure to sub, ding the bell, check out Patreon, Sleeve Chief, Card Market, all of it. And with that, let's just go ahead and get started. We have about 30 decks to cover, so I think we need to get going. So we have the usual tiers, and I added a little more decks because the format is so open and diverse at the beginning. Usually everything is fresh, and I just wanted to cover more decks than usual, so maybe you find something here that like suits you, or maybe something you play and you'll see which deck I play somewhere. Also, if there's anything that you're playing and is not on this tier list, feel free to ask in the comments where I would place it. Probably it's not on here because I don't think it's that great, but still it doesn't hurt to ask. So yeah, for the first thing, I wanted to cover Ultrageist. It's like a random trap deck because trap decks are going to be kind of nice. Lightning Storm 1 to 2, and I don't think they're going to be exactly horrible. And also, like I said at the beginning of the format, you're probably better off playing like a tried and true deck. So I think Ultrageist is like bottom of Rogue. I think I don't want to do it dirty because it's like you can play it if you want. It's not going to be the greatest, but I think bottom of Rogue is like very fair. I might move it to not good like when we're done with the tier list. I already can tell, but like we'll see. Then I wanted to cover Blackwing, another rogue deck. This is like, it's a fan favorite and I really like this, but it's a combo deck where other combo decks just do it better. It's not a bad combo deck, but the other ones just achieve everything with more consistency, with more resiliency, and I just feel like, you know, it's not as great. So Rogue I think is fine for this deck, because it's like a lot of times when people don't really expect it, you catch them off guard. Like they just do not know what hit them with the Blackwing cards, especially with the support. Then we have Branded. I think Branded should go in tier 1.5, mostly because it's going to struggle if people become more prepared for it. Right now, it was really nice, and people weren't as prepared because they had to prepare for Super Heavy Samurai, Pearly, Kashira, and other decks, and there just wasn't enough space left to really gear your deck towards Branded. You could side Ash, but mainly people would side it because it wasn't as impactful in other matchups. I think I hit the mic, I'm sorry. So now, if everything becomes very much focused on countering Branded, Branded is slowly going to fall off, at least a tiny bit. So I think tier 1.5 is like the perfect placement for it right now. And then moving on to Dragon Link, I think the Dragon deck is like tier 2, top of tier 2, or maybe even tier 1.5. I think it has high potential. What I dislike is the Gamma hit. Gamma was amazing in this deck. It was so free to also use it if you used it on your turn, and like your Chaos Space would always go through and all of that. So this was amazing. This was actually an indirect hit to Dragon Link. So I feel like it should be top of tier 2. It has high potential, but we'll see. We'll see what happens later down the line. I do think it's really nice. Also, we'll see how much impact Bestials are going to have in the format. If decks like Branded, Sky Striker, Mech are still around, Bestials are going to become even better. So we'll see. Then we have Dark World. So a lot of people say that Dark World is going to be better because Joel is going to fall off, and like, I don't know, you know, Shifter is really nice against it, and Shifter will see play. However, it might see play only in side decks or not a lot of decks, because it's not going to be amazing against the top decks, even though the top decks can also play it. It's kind of this weird dynamic. So I think top of Rogue is like the perfect placement for Dark World. I was never a fan. I never saw a lot of potential in it, so I will stick by that and I'll just place it in Rogue. So, you know. Then we have Dinos. I think Dinos are Rogue. They're like over here maybe next to Blackwings. I might be doing them dirty, but I just really don't think the support is that great. I think it doesn't bring enough to the table. I don't think it does enough for the Dino deck, and I feel like Rogue is like the placement for it. Then we have Dinomorphia. Rogue as well. It's better than Ultrageist in my opinion. Might even be better than Dinos. It did see a top at Nationals. I think it was a Nationals list that I featured in one of the previous videos I did. So I wanted to cover Dinomorphia. I wanted to give it the respect, but like, I don't think it's better than Rogue. There are other better trap decks, and I never saw a lot of potential in it. So I'll just be frank with you. I think, you know, I think Rogue is fine. Then we have Jacob Slayer. So I definitely wanted to cover Jacob Slayer because I've seen people do stuff with Super Heavy Samurai and Jacob Slayer, which seems really, really interesting. I'm totally biased because I like Jacob Slayer. But still, looking at it from an unbiased perspective, I think this has potential, you know, because Jacob Slayer mostly fell off because people could zone lock the pendulum zones with Kashtira. And now that that's not a thing anymore, you know, I think Rogue is fine for Jacob Slayer. We'll see. Like, I just, fingers crossed that Jacob Slayer does well. Then we have Jaichan. I think Jaichan is fine. It could go like bottom of tier 2, top of Rogue or something. It's not a bad combo deck, but we'll see what happens, because again, it's one of those decks where when people just get ready for it, you cannot do anything with Jaichan. And Rise Heart is still a thing, Shifter is still a thing, Bestios are a thing, so like the deck is going to fight an uphill battle in the format, I feel like, but still I think it's fair to put it in tier 2. Alright, so moving on, we have Outlich. I don't know, I wanted to feature it because it got top 64. I usually put it in like bruh or not good. I'll just put it in Rogue. Okay, I'll put Outlich in Rogue and I'll just be fair, but we'll see. I don't think it's that great, honestly. I'll just place it like next to Dynamorphia, I guess. Maybe like over here. I genuinely don't think Outlich is that great. Like the other chaps in the deck, sure. The Floodgates, sure. But, you know, you can put Floodgates in pretty much any deck that can play them, and it doesn't necessarily need to rely on the Outlich engine, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. Rogue, I guess. Then we have Flunder. Flunder is like tier 2, I think. It's just a solid tier 2 deck. I think Flunder is okay, but like Kashtira is just a much, much better control deck that's also very annoying to deal with. A Rise Heart is amazing. They lost consistency, they lost Diablosis, a Rise Heart is a 1. I'm aware of all of that, but I still think the deck is going to be much, much better. So maybe players will turn to it if that's the playstyle you're going for. However, what Flunder has going for it is it's very, very budget. So, you know, it has nice matchups with some of the top decks, so I feel like it's fair to put it in tier 2. And now that we're discussing Kashtira, it's actually the next one on the list. I'll put it in tier 1. Spoiler, I don't think anything is goated in this format as of right now. Everything is very much open. We don't really know what's going to happen. We can speculate, but that's pretty much it. So I think Kashtira has to go in tier 1 just because it still has a ton of power. You know, like I said, it lost consistency, but what it's able to achieve, it's still fairly good at it. The only issue with it, that's actually kind of a big one, is that because there's no zone lock anymore, you can just easily lose to going second spell cards, and also just one Arise Heart kind of hurts. There is no more double Arise Heart boards, no more zone lock boards in any type of way. And as much as I think, you know, it's still strong, I think the difference is going to be very apparent between the power level of Kashtira then and the power level of Kashtira now. So tier 1, but like, we'll see. Then we have Labyrinth, tier 1.5, 100%. I think Labyrinth is strong. Like, the furniture stuff is amazing. There's the very trap-heavy different version, but everything is really nice. Chaos Angel is amazing. Just everything when it comes to Labyrinth just seems like it's, I don't know, it just seems like it's the time to shine for it. But then we can look at it from another perspective, where if everybody becomes prepared for Labyrinth, if we really learn how to counter it, how to play against it, what the weaknesses are, what the strengths are also, just to know, I think the deck is going to be, you know, quite easy to counter. So we'll see. I might be wrong. It might still dominate, and I still think it has amazing, amazing potential. And also Lightning Storm is a 2. So there's that as well, but we'll see. I think tier 1.5 is fair for now, but of course we'll be doing a tier list about a month from now, and we'll see if some of these placements change. Then we have Vanadium. Like, for this deck, literally, I just want to create a tier and just put like high potential or something as the name of the tier. Vanadium seems really, really nice. The support is coming. It's a very solid combo deck. But like I said, and I think I said this in like the last video I did, it was just overshined by Super Heavy Samurai. Just pretty much did the same thing, but Super Heavy Samurai had a smaller engine, so they could fit more non-engine, a lot of one-card combos, and Vanadium just feels like it gets very easily stopped in its tracks, and if you want to be protected and go for Baron, a lot of times you won't be able to do much more than that. So I think Vanadium can go in tier 2. Might go like above Drytron, which is another combo deck. I think it has potential, but we'll see. I might have to move Dragon Link a tiny bit higher. We'll decide at the very end, but I think Vanadium is cool. I think it's nice. Then we have Marensis. I think Marensis is tier 2. I think it's fair to put it here. Like, just a solid deck, you know, a lot of space for non-engine, so you can really adjust to the format, which I really like with this deck. A lot of just one-card combos. The trap card is amazing. The Zealantis is really nice. You can play Ice J cards together with the Marensis cards, and just, I think it's nice. I think it's cool. It's also very accessible, so just a very solid deck all around. Then we have Methmech. So this is kind of weird. I'll put it in Rogue. As for now, I might be wrong, actually. Let me think on that. I think Methmech could potentially be tier 2, but the issue with it is that one circular is not enough. I think multiple circular, not only it gets your combos going, but it gives you follow-up, it gives you enough power to push on the third turn to be able to achieve the OTK. And it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like this skeleton of a deck. It just doesn't feel powerful enough is what I want to say. So I think like top of Rogue is fine for now, and we'll see if people develop like some kind of routes where the deck could go. Firewall Defensor is cool. You can play Super Heavy Samurai together with it. I don't know. For right now, I want to put it in Rogue, but we'll see what happens. Then we have Plunder, another Rogue deck. I think I'll place it like here, and I might place... I think this is fine, actually. Plunder is kind of cool. I like Plunder because like it can play the Adventure Engine, which is amazing. Like, everyone is sleeping on the Adventure Engine, and it's just so strong. It has a lot of space for non-engine. It's also very nice in a diverse meta. You can really like play with the people's attributes, and if you can't, you have the support, the Yord. I think, yeah, it's the Yord one, where you just make a token, so you can really make plays for yourself. I like it. I think it's nice, and I don't know, I'm quite a fan of the deck, although it's sort of like still freaks me out at times, because like it does a lot. You really need to pilot it well, I think, to be able to achieve good results with it. So if you're up against a very good Plunder player, I think you're gonna have a hard time. And then we have Punk. So this can be Gold Pride Punk, whatever, but I think this deck is like... I think this deck is Rogue. Honestly, I feel like I should place it here. I might be doing it dirty, but I genuinely believe, like, I think the Gold Pride Punk is the better version, but they lost Gamma, which is kind of huge. Gamma was amazing for the deck, I think, and I don't know, I don't think it's that great. I think Rogue is like fine, and it's always been Rogue. It just did what it did, but a lot of decks did what they did better, if that makes sense. So yeah. Then we have Sprite, a lot of Sprite variants. I put on this list, I put a ton of Sprite. So this was a weird sentence, but you know what I mean. So let's slowly go through everything. We have Melfi Sprite, which I feel like should go in like top of tier 1 tier 1, I feel like. I think this deck is really nice, and I also think that the Sprite Runic Evo Twin version is really strong as well. Overall, Runic is going to be so strong right now. Nothing was hit. The Fountain Tutu is literally a joke. Maybe it's foreshadowing a hit in the fall, but that's pretty much it. It is a meme. It is stupid, and I think Runic is like tier 1.5, like the pure stuff, which is like makes me sick. But it's here, and people are probably going to be playing it, like just Runic, Floodgates, all of the degenerate stuff, and just overall Runic as an engine I think is going to be strong if people pair it together with some other decks as well. So in the Sprite deck, it's going to be really strong. Right now with a Rice Heart only at 1, and overall the format being a little less oppressive, I think decks like these are able to shine again. And the Starter Tutu didn't hurt enough for Sprite to not see play at top levels. At least that's the way I feel. And this is just representative of Pure Sprite, and I think Pure Sprite is like, probably should go here. This is like Nimbo Swap Frog stuff. I think Melfi and Evo Twin is much better, so I wanted to place this here. And then we also have the Tri Brigade version, which I think should probably go a bit lower. It doesn't seem like it's the greatest, and I also tend to judge these tier lists by results as well, and people just don't really take it to tournaments a lot. I've seen like maybe 2 tops with it in the last format, so I think we can place it like maybe next to Marincess and Joytron. It's not bad, but it's not as great as the other variants, at least in my opinion. Then we have Pearly. I don't know. I think Pearly is not good right now. I genuinely believe that Pearly with the support is going to be strong again. And also, a lot of people have been saying that it might receive even more support because of the attributes. So we can get like more extra deck monsters, which could, you know, they could be onto something. And I feel like about a month from now or a little more, by the time Duelist Nexus comes out, things are going to change. And Pearly, I think right now is just not good. I've been just going through a lot of, you know, just a lot of threads, a lot of discussions, reading, watching, checking everything out. And like, I think that it has potential. However, the deck is going to struggle, so you might be better off playing something else just for the time being. Hopefully that makes sense. Then we have Rika, a definite tier 1.5 contender. I'll put it here. I think it's really strong. We were talking about, at least I feel like in this tier list, about a lot of different combo decks, and some of them just do it better, and Rika is amazing. I think a lot of different disruptions, rewards good gameplay, just puts up amazing boards that are really hard to out, and has a lot of space for non-engine as well, which is amazing. So also achieving results, we've seen UK Nationals 10-0 result, making it to top 4 is just really nice to see, and I like the deck overall. I think it's cool, and yeah, tier 1.5. Then we have the Furhire Runic deck. I think this deck is like, I think it has potential. I think I'll put it in like tier 2, maybe even like here. I think it's not bad. I genuinely believe that the Runic engine, because it's going to be quite strong, you can pretty much pair anything together with it and play it well, and I think you're gonna be doing quite well. So I don't know, I said well like 20 times, but it's really, I'm trying to get a point across. So yeah, I think that deck is cool. Okay, so this one, I just wanted to put it in bruh, like don't hate me. I could have cut this picture and not talk about Naturia Runic, which would be kind of wrong, so I wanted to put it in here, wanted to put it in bruh. The Secret 3-1 is like, I get that it didn't, okay, maybe it did kill the deck, but I wanted to say that I get that they didn't completely ban it, but it's pretty much the same. Like Secret 3-1, that's not enough. It's amazing for this card, just does so much for the deck, and I don't think with a lot of different engines to pair together with Runic, I don't think people are going to turn to Naturia again. And also, this is an old picture. Like, obviously, people don't play Ishizu cards anymore. I might just, I don't know, replace it with another picture over here. But you get what I mean. So, yeah, Scareclaw. I think this is like a very solid rogue deck. Could go like next to Plunder, maybe. It's not bad, but not a lot of people pick it up. So I think it has potential, but we'll just have to wait and see if people really like try to develop it into a really nice deck. We'll see. I think it has potential, so I want to have it in Rogue. Then we have Vanquish Soul. Now this one feels like it's really nice to build on top of it, if that makes sense. Like with some of the support, like a little later down the line, I feel like these deck build packs always get nice support. If you look at Pearly, if you look at Labyrinth, if you look at a ton of different decks, they are always getting support and becoming better. And I feel like Vanquish Soul is one of these archetypes where it's going to be much better a couple months from now. So I think right now I want to put Vanquish Soul in Rogue, like maybe here. It just seems like it has potential, but we'll have to wait a tiny bit. And also, it's so expensive. It's literally stupid. It feels like a cash grab. I talked about it already, so I don't want to spend too much time. But like, yeah, I think Rogue is like the placement. Then we have Super Heavy Samurai. Now this one, I think, man, I don't, what do I want to do with this deck? I think it has to go in tier 2. probably has to go in tier 2 or like top of Rogue. I'm gonna put it in top of Rogue. Actually, I changed my mind. I'll place it a tiny bit higher. Maybe like above these ones here, and we can place Mathmech, or we can just leave it here. Actually, we can leave it here, and maybe Super Heavy Samurai should go a bit lower. I'll place it here just because we don't really know what's going to happen. Hopefully this makes sense, but we'll have to wait and see. As of right now, people have been trying out different combos, but it just feels like the second the deck becomes like a 2-card combo that gets easily disrupted, it's not the best combo deck exactly. So you will probably turn to stuff like Dragon Link, Rika, Manadium even. So I don't know. I might actually put Manadium at just a slightly lower, but you know, everything here is fine, I think. Then we have Sky Striker. I think Striker is still Rogue. Just I won't be trying to make it sound better than it is. I think Sky Striker is Rogue. I think it's a strong Rogue contender. I feel like if you're a great Sky Striker player, if you really build it well, probably the going second version is the way to go, with a lot of like just strong cards like, I don't know, Evenly, Lightning Storm, stuff like that, Change of Heart. With that, I think Striker is nice, but Engage also amazing. And if you pair all of that together with Thrust, also really nice, but I think it's just not better than Rogue. Power creep got to it, and it's just not able to hang with some of the best decks, and I think it really shows. Then we have Swordso. I think Swordso has potential to be a good tier 2 contender. I feel like, you know, going here, I think is a perfect placement for it, like between Marincis and Flunder. Swordso is nice. It is one of those decks that can really shine in a lot of different formats, and I think right now is the time for it. I think just overall ending on Chixiao, Blackout, maybe a Baron or something is solid. I think that's really nice. It's a decent end board. Pair that together with hand traps, and I feel like it should be good. Danglong is another point of discussion. People have been for it, against it. We'll see what happens, but a lot of against it arguments were that it plays hard into Nibiru. That was a weird sentence. It plays hard into Nibiru, which kind of sucks. That's not ideal, but it does make some of your plays better. You know, being able to interact with Taya, sending stuff to the graveyard, doing whatever you need to get follow-up, I think it has potential, but if people don't play Danglong, I will also, you know, it will also make sense to me. So yeah, I think Swordso is fine here. Then we have Tier and Traptrix. So Tier, literally just a Rogue deck at this point. I think Tier is like, I think it got in Philly, I think it managed to get in top 64, definitely, maybe even higher, if I'm not mistaken. So like, I think we can place it like somewhere in the middle, like over here. I don't think it's a bad deck, but like, I'll place it here. This is like the gate, I don't know the expression, but basically it's like between everything that's here and then stuff that's a tiny bit lower, because Draco Slayer, I feel like could go a bit higher, but it's still kind of questionable. We'll see what happens with it. Now I'm starting to ramble, so I'll stop. But Tier, not a bad deck, but my issue with it is that you get all of these names into the graveyard and there's nothing for you to go into. Like, you need a kit. At least one kit would be amazing, because you don't want to just go through your deck mill stuff and then just, you know, cross your fingers and pray that you actually have stuff to go into. People have been saying that it might see play together with Pearly because they don't discard for cost, they discard for effect, and then you actually have stuff, like, because you're milling, you actually have ways of getting the Delicious to the graveyard, so then you can Lily together with it into an XYZ. So there is potential there, that's why I want to put it in Rogue, but we'll see if it actually is managing to, like, I don't know, climb a bit higher. Well, we can place it like here. I think it's fair to place it here. And then we have Traptrix. I think Traptrix is like a very decent Rogue deck, actually. I'm gonna put it like here. It's not bad. It's a worse, not combo deck. It's a worse trap deck than Labyrinth, in my opinion. But it does a lot, you know. I really like the different types of disruptions. You have monsters. It's a very monster-heavy deck, you know. It has a lot of monster presence on the board, a couple of trap cards. Then you have in the graveyard, you have the Holotea to be able to banish it, special summon something for another disruption. I like it. I like just how it works. I like the playstyle and all of that. So I think it's decent. I might be doing Pearly kind of dirty, but I don't think right now Pearly is good. Actually, I'll just change the tier, and I'll just put not good right now. Right now, it's not good right now. And I think that's pretty much it. Let's just check it one more time. Hopefully this video is not too long so I can take a minute and really consider some of these choices. I think this is fine. I genuinely think this is okay. This is fine, this is fine. All of this I think is okay. Dragon Link is kind of nice. Thunder is okay. I might play Sword So a bit higher actually. Then we have all of these decks over here. Super Heavy Samurai is the only one that's bothering me because I'm not certain what to do with it. But I feel like bottom of tier 2 is okay. We can like place it above Chai-Chun. Maybe actually even higher. I think here is fine. Now it's next to Vanadium. I don't know. I think it's worse than Vanadium at this point. The the Scarecrow hit really hurt, and I don't know. I'm not certain. I'll just leave it. I'll leave it like here. I'll leave it here. I'm done. I'm done messing with it. Let me know your thoughts. I might be completely wrong, but it's just the way I see things right now. Obviously, the ban list was only a couple days ago, so we can't really tell much, only reading from like groups, looking at deck lists and all of that. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it, of course. Share all of your thoughts. Let me know if there's something that I completely butchered on here and I should fix, if you agree or disagree. And if you just enjoy these lists overall, just make sure to let me know. And that's pretty much it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.